So the second and last part of this fire extinguisher valve piece is an extrusion, and it's also a carved out or a kind of uh, a removed curved portion of the bottom, which is really hard to see, if not impossible to see in this. But basically, there's curvature on the bottom where my mouse is, and that curvature exists in both directions. Okay, and going back to AutoCAD, this is the curvature that I'm talking about along the bottom, and then that curve or that this arc is also going to happen the other way. It'll make a little bit more sense here in a second. Um, since this is the template that I used, if you recall, to use this template to create that curvature, okay, I can use this same template with one tiny modification. Um, and that modification is to go ahead and draw a arc on it. In this case, the arc would be in this fashion, from here down to here and up over to here. Okay. The ideal would be to go ahead and take this and just use this at these two locations, and that would match the curvature perfectly. The problem with that is when I draw the arc from here to here to here, there is a tiny portion of that arc that is that's in full contact right across here. So when I use it as like a cookie cutter to slice it, to slice it off, AutoCAD gets confused where these lines intersect. Okay, so what I'm going to do in order to correct that is I'm just going to go ahead and add the tiniest amount. So that was 1/8 of an inch, which is 0.125. I'm just going to add to that 0.125. We're talking now the 5 place is thousandths of an inch. So I'm going to say 0.130 will be my distance. And that's only changed it by 5 thousandths of an inch. So you're talking about like a human hair and a half at that point. Okay. Or similarly, I could have done this. It can go erase, and I could have just stuck with that 0.125, and I could have just drawn a line that's 0.005 right here, barely visible. Okay, and then just draw this up 0.125, just like I had before. So I think that this would be the preferred way of doing it. And as you can see right here, if I draw an arc from there, it's very small. And again, we're talking about the difference. It's like a human hair's thickness, so it's nothing really. So I can go ahead and match properties, grab this, and this video should be much shorter. And then I'm going to go ahead and join this whole thing. Okay, so this is all ready to go. I don't need my drawing here anymore. So now it's time to go to a 3D perspective. And first thing I can do is I can flip these both up. Oh shoot, I never joined this. I don't think I did. Join. Let's double check. Yep. So if it's not joined, you're going to have all kinds of problems here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to stand this up from right here. So it's sitting at floor level or ground level, and I'm going to stand that up. Okay. What I'm going to do here is this part is going to swing over once this gets extruded. So what I need to do is go back to my drawing, which was looking for the extrusion distance is 1.510. I'm going to delete this 1. I'm going to use 1.5 for this thing. That's easy to remember for other parts that come into play. So I'm going to go up and I'm going to extrude this, and that's going to go 1.5. Okay. And now I'm going to take this, and now it's kind of covered up, from this top end point and put it right there. Okay. So there's my thing that I'm going to use to slice away. And I'm going to 3D rotate it. from that point, I want it to stay stuck, and I want to spin this. I think I got to go negative 90 in that case. Yep. So I went negative 90, and now you can see what's going to happen is when I go ahead and extrude this along the way, it's going to push itself through. As you can see right here, it pushes itself through some of the solid material on the valve. Okay, sometimes it's easier to just to double check that you nailed it by cruising along like this. Okay, so now if I were to go ahead and take and subtract, grab the valve, right click, enter. Now you can see what I've done is I've gotten curvature in both directions right there. Okay. The smaller the number I use, so in this case I used I changed the thousandths place by 5/1000ths. If I had changed it by 1/1000th, this piece will appear, this curve at this point and this curve at this point will appear to intersect right here. But the only thing on the realism portion that matters is that it looks like it curves both ways. Okay, that is the valve.